Hi, I'm Jessie Abbott, your host of Valley News Now, here with the lovely and talented John David Berdahl. And we've been having so much fun already. We've had a hard time turning on the cameras because we're just chit-chatting and having a great time.
Yes, we've been talking and then it's kind of, oh wait, we're supposed to be,
I know, we're supposed to be
presenting
on. Like,
or broadcasting or something like that.
Yes, but it's so interesting, and thank you so much. So he was on North Dakota Today this morning, so you have to go check that out on Facebook Live or on our website. But then you so graciously offered to come on with me today on my program.
Oh, yes,
so I appreciate that. And we have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. So your documentary, maybe we'll start there. Tell me about that.
Okay, absolutely. So today I was going to be editing that, so I've moved into the post-production phase with that film.
Okay.
And I've conducted so many interviews and talked to so many incredibly just, I suppose, enlightened, really knowledgeable, and really authentic individuals.
Nice.
And so the documentary is called I'll Start From Here.
Okay,
and it's about how a lot of us experience certain moments or certain situations in our lives where we're not prepared for what's happening, and
Definitely.
and so it's kind of like crisis or it's difference or change, and we're kind of reeling from it, and then we just make that choice. I guess all of us kind of collectively, and respectively at the same time. Wow, quite a paradox. But it's like we say that phrase, or we make that decision. I'll start from right here.
Right.
And I'll be this type of person.
Yeah.
And so I've experienced that myself.
Yes.
And so I just thought, you know what, I'll talk to a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of organizations, and just see where the conversation goes.
Oh, I bet it was fascinating.
Oh, very, very fascinating.
So you've done those interviews now, and now you're moving into the editing process. I mean, how long of a documentary is this going to be? I bet it could be hours and hours and hours.
I do have hours and hours and hours of footage. I think it's at 14 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I'm just starting to edit, segments together, kind of larger chunks of it. So I'm at 10 minutes right now at the beginning.
Okay.
And so I'll just do another 10 minutes and another 10 minutes, and then just start moving things around. Just where it seems like it's really informative. But also. Not so much entertaining, but really engaging.
Really engaging, which is entertaining.
Oh yes,
honestly.
Yes.
So would you mind, if you don't mind sharing, your I'll start from here moment?
Oh, absolutely, sure. And it was I was being diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which has now been folded into autism spectrum disorder. Okay.
Yep.
And
how old were you at
at
this
about
time?
30.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm 39 now.
Until 30. You're just like, well, this is.
Oh yes,
what
I
did it
tell
feel
people
like?
I present on this topic absolutely
Yeah.
when I was last on this program, or do you call it a program? Show?
Yeah, show.
This
platform.
event.
Event.
Yes.
It is an event when you're on.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay. Thank you so much.
It's an event.
Yeah, I was talking about presenting to the Moorhead Police Department,
Yes.
which I'm doing again in October.
Okay.
But yeah, golly, and so I'll just get right to the moment. Okay, the moment you just asked about. But yeah, and so I was presenting on this. I talk about, people ask me, why did it take so long?
Right.
30 years old, and I
Right.
tell people it was like living in an alternate dimension.
I
For
bet.
30 years. No one was explaining anything to me, and there's no blame. I mean,
Right.
I could attempt it, but I don't do that. This
cool.
doesn't do that.
It doesn't do that.
No,
No.
this brain I've got doesn't
Which
know
is
how
amazing.
to feel. Yeah, exactly. I suppose that's amazing.
Yeah, because we can, just really ruminate on blame and want to
Yes.
blame somebody
Shame,
else.
guilt.
All of those
All of
things.
that, yeah.
And so the way your brain works, you're able to kind of circumvent that and get to the how do I go from here?
Yeah, I suppose the
okay.
solution, or the forward sort of movement instead of perhaps
awesome.
sideways. I guess so, yes. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I bring up because people will say that's incredible, that's
Right.
a gift. And it's like, don't take your feelings for granted. They make you
Yeah.
really who you are. That makes you really distinctive,
So we need to appreciate how we work.
Oh yes.
Each of us individually.
Absolutely, and each of us has a part to play. Each of us has a purpose, and each of us has something to contribute that no one else can.
Wow.
And those feelings help us do that.
True.
And so yes, my not so much lack of them, although let's just for simplicity's sake,
Yeah.
say lack of
Okay.
for that. Yeah. And so so the event for me was I was having conversations with a specialist here in town, an autism specialist, who's now in Florida. And I not so much was trying to fix myself. A lot of people try and do that, where it's kind of
Sure.
like, oh, I've got this condition, I've got this difference. How do I fix it?
Yeah.
How do I fix it?
How do
I'm
I
broken.
make
I'm
me
different.
like the rest of the people,
Exactly.
or the majority of the
Yeah,
people?
or normative, or
yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
How do I be normal?
Right.
And I had a choice. Do I be this now? Do I be, not totally, this diagnosis or this condition or
Right.
perspective or disability?
Yeah.
You know, do I be that, or do I sort of mask now that I know?
Right.
You know? And so for me, it was, I'll start from here. I'll be this type of person that is unmasking and very obvious about it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really obvious about it,
Yeah.
and people notice. You know, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
what is with that guy? You know?
Well, like you said, though, so authentic, and people are just drawn to that.
Yes,
you
they
know,
are.
when we were visiting, you're like, people will say that's perfect, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
but I'm being me, and that's
yes.
what makes it perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what I was just telling a student last night.
Cool.
You know, or I guess a little while ago, because I have so many of these conversations. And it wasn't specifically about this, although I was getting near it. But I was telling a student, like when people say that to me, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't really inflate an ego for me, because it's like, I don't know where ego is. You know, it's
Which
like,
is again is like such an awesome thing, and another
yeah.
reason I think people are so drawn to you because
so.
yeah, you're just authentically you,
Yeah.
and yeah, you didn't get a big head about it. or
no,
whatever.
you know,
It's
and people will be like, you're awesome. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
okay,
You know,
cool.
and then I'll just walk away. You know, sort of dismissive. And then I'll come back like, oh, wait, you were praising me. I do apologize.
Awesome. So is it similar to like, oh, you have glasses on today? Is that a similar thing to like, you said that perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
Wow.
very much like
I
that.
lost my mic.
Oh, I
just
blame
felt it.
myself. Here, I'll get
You
closer and
shouldn't.
here.
There we go. We'll share mics
Yeah, exactly.
today. I lost my clip, so it just sits there. I must have got
Oh.
too excited.
Yeah, that must have been
Yeah,
it. I
that
do. That happens with me, especially. People get kind of like, oh, you know, I
Right?
suppose inspired or enlivened or enthused.
Definitely.
You know.
Definitely.
Yes,
Yes. I
because
keep
there's-
taking you away from your moment, though.
Oh,
the question
really?
that I
Oh,
asked.
no,
yes,
I
keep
did
taking
answer. You know,
away.
it was that moment where,
Yeah,
you know, it's like
okay.
where I you know,
You decided.
yep, I chose, you know, to be, yes, I will be, you know, I suppose authentic or obvious or, you know, just open, you
Open.
know, and transparent and, you know, and just let this and this and this sort of be in alignment and just guide me through things instead of kind of wondering, do I do this or do I do that? Or, you
Yes.
know, getting permission or getting a certain or a type of okay, you know, or just being reticent or apprehensive,
Yes.
which I don't know how to feel, but I can present that.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so-
So,
and-
even though we might feel it differently, you could choose to try to put that mask
Oh yes,
on.
yes, and
Yeah.
I've seen that sort of thing, and so I, you know, I guess blend in.
Yeah,
You know, and it's
right.
like, no, I'm going to be conspicuous. Well, I'm going to stand out.
love
And
it.
yeah, that makes some people really mad, some people really jealous,
does.
some people really proud, you know, and some people really comfortable.
And inspired.
Yes,
Yeah. You're
inspired too.
inspiring me right now
Oh,
to
good.
go. You know, I think we also, many of us struggle with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be authentic, but then, oh, I'm nervous. How are these people gonna take it? And oh, I think I felt a little, you know, resistance
Oh,
there.
yeah,
So-
resistance.
right, but we just need to still do it anyway.
Yes, I tell people resistance builds strength. So go ahead,
isn't that
confront
true?
it, you know, go
Yeah.
right into it. That's what I do.
Like
you know?
the gym, you know.
Oh yes,
resistance builds
exactly.
strength,
Yeah,
right?
and so I just treat these moments like just the other day, someone insulted me on Facebook Messenger. I'm still living.
we're getting some biceps
Yeah.
in while we're at
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody better call a vet because these puppies are sick.
That's a great joke.
Dang, you know. It's like, anyway, kiss them or something. But you know, it's like someone just insulted me on Facebook Messenger, saying,
Really?
you know, calling me a robot. And saying
Oh.
that I need a wellness check or that I need to be, you know, I
Wow.
guess fixed or repaired or, you know,
Sure.
that there's something wrong with me. And it's like, no, there's a difference. You know, there's a difference. You're not used to this. You have an expectation of what life, what you think life ought to be. And you know what? You are, I don't know about entitled to it, but you are free to have it. And I make certain people do have, you know, a chance to, you know, express themselves
Yeah.
and to be vocal and I suppose be mean or authentic. You know, some people
I guess
are,
that is their
yeah, they're very blunt, they're very candid and frank, and you know, they're kind of, I don't know about cruel, but crude maybe, you
It
know,
feels-
in
it
how they're
feels
in
cruel.
crass.
Yeah. But I think kind of backing up to another thing you said,
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a lot of times about a jealousy within them.
Yeah.
To, you know, I see you being authentic. I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me living in that, I'm gonna kind of try to shame you.
Yeah.
And make you follow in line with, you know, put the mask on
Yeah,
like the rest
exactly.
of us have
You know,
to do.
yes. And then so when that happens to me now, because the person wasn't in front of me, I just explained, oh, I have autism spectrum disorder that makes behavior, you know, kind of repetitive, which can look robotic. And you know, I work with so many mental and behavioral specialists or professionals and providers now. a wellness check would be silly.
You're kind of constantly in a wellness check.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Working with all these professionals. Yeah.
And not intentionally, but that's just,
it's the world you live in.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but when a person does that in front of me, face to face, I'll just go like, good job.
Will you really?
Like, 'cause it takes a type of bravery to be that,
Well, that's true. It's a good way to look at it.
Yes, to be that, I don't know, disagreeable or something,
Right to someone's face.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
I'd be
praise
like,
them.
Good job.
Good job.
That's awful, but good job.
Way to bring out that, because, well, a lot of us don't like to be confrontational that way. So
No, but I just go right into the storm.
how is that received when you do that to
Oh,
someone?
yeah, they think I'm making fun of them.
Oh, sure.
And I do believe I am not. I'm
No.
praising, I'm not so much approval, but it's just kind of like, hey, that's all you know how to do, or that's your nature,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, hey, good, like you're sticking to it, It's like, I don't really have that kind of experience where I have a visceral emotional response to
Right,
something.
right.
So I'll ask questions too, kind of like, so when did it begin? Like, not so much like I'm investigating. So like, what is that feeling? Now, where do you go from there? And the person's like, leave me alone. But you insulted me. Like,
Right, you insulted me,
don't
and
I
I'm
get,
just asking questions.
yeah. Don't I get, isn't there a back and forth?
Right.
There's no, and what you find out is there's no reciprocity.
No.
Yeah,
no.
in that situation.
People that are putting out that kind of
Yep.
energy aren't really wanting, they're wanting
anything
Yeah, no,
back.
no. They're trying to kind of maybe push you away or something.
Yeah, yeah. And
That is
so-
so interesting.
Yes, it
You're
is.
like, oh, I thought we were asking questions about our
Well,
personalities.
yeah, I thought you were needed, I don't know, some sort of, and I'll ask people just, I suppose, very clearly, I'll say like, do you need to have an argument? Because I can do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do they ever say yes?
Yeah, some people will say like, yeah.
Some people
like,
want to just like fight a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
spar or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
All right,
and
here
it
we
turns
go.
into the Monty Python like argument clinic. You know what I'm talking
awesome.
about?
Yes, I
yeah.
do.
It's like, I came here for an argument. It's like, no, you didn't, or whatever. It's
Right.
like, you're just contradicting me. No, I'm not.
I'm not. What are you talking about?
Oh my
So
gosh.
great. Well, this documentary is going to be amazing. So it's called I'll Start From Here.
I'll start from here. It's going to debut at the Fargo Theater on October 10th.
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
evening.
so you've got a date.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
and so
right.
I'm editing it, putting it together, and yeah, it's really going to move people. It's really
is.
going to change some lives, or at least help to change some lives.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, people use that phrase, start a conversation, kind of overuse it, but it's true. It does start a conversation
It does.
About how we interact with each other. And what's the word that you just taught me before about the way different people's brains work?
Yeah, there's a concept called theory of mind.
Yes.
Okay, and I present about that, and I bring it up to some professionals here in town. And it's like because of the memory I have, and I have an eidetic memory. Okay,
What
so
does that mean?
so it's not like a photographic memory. I don't have a picture, but I retain vast amounts of information. That's kind of
Yes.
savantish behavior.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I noticed when you
Or
remembered exactly what we talked about the first time. I
I'm
was
still
like,
there.
Wow.
With this memory, I'm still there in
Really?
that moment.
Wow.
Yes. So
That's-
both moments are happening for me simultaneously.
Wow.
Because of the clarity of mind. I'm not saying I travel through time. I'm
Right,
not
no.
going backwards. Woo!
know,
It's not a Christopher Nolan film. It's
But when you have that, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have as many, but when you have that clear memory where you can just be there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is for you though most moments of your
all
life.
moments.
All
And that was that alternate dimension. I was retaining all of this, keeping every single fact.
Wow.
And it's like, what do I do with it? No one was telling me,
Right.
And not so much they had to tell me how to feel or how to proceed, but it's like,
Well,
what do I do with
do
this? Yeah,
right.
like,
but that
what's
is
this-
kind of
what's
how we
happening?
learn. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that is what we do is we teach our children, or we attempt to teach students how to live in the world, what to do with all of those things where you weren't getting that leadership. You
Nope.
know? Yeah.
And no one knew to offer it because I wasn't, I had presumed because of theory of mind,
Yeah.
or I didn't have theory of mind, which is knowing that there are different types of minds, and different ways that people interpret, sensory input and just input in general, And so I had this was telling me we are one. Because of
Right.
mirroring,
Yeah,
that was going
right,
on. That's a
yeah.
symptom of autism, and it's like it was telling me we are us,
We're- right,
And so
we're
I
the
didn't
same.
even think, that there's a difference until I
Sure.
was diagnosed that, I'll start from here moment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, we're totally separate. Oh my gosh.
You're like, that means we might think separately.
Yes,
And differently.
Yes,
Wow.
And so yes, and so and now I know how to aim. That sort of oneness if people need it.
Sure.
If not, it's like okay,
Okay.
goodbye.
All right, we will
Whoa.
be separate. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's trust issues, or maybe there's
Right.
PTSD or something like that.
Right.
I know, like I'm all frosting and no cake, and it's like,
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yes, and I show up and I'm like, hey,
Right.
and someone's like, whoa, this
Whoa.
is just, oh my gosh,
I understand that a little bit. I
hope
tend
so.
to be a little, hi, we're here, and where's the
yes.
boundaries? What are those? Let's get those out of here, and
Oh,
like,
no.
let's go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
some people are like, whoa.
Yeah,
You can
you're
just
over
feel it.
there.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boundaries.
No, that's great. And I suppose we could end with what are boundaries, because I teach that sort of thing, because I had
that
to
would be
learn.
great.
Or how
Yes.
do I describe them?
I'm still learning boundaries.
yeah?
I have a difficult time with boundaries. Yeah.
So I describe boundaries as, and I'd read this in a book, and I'll leave the book aside. But anyway, so what I bring up is that boundaries are like backyard fences.
Okay.
Okay, like your neighbor has a backyard,
Right.
you have a backyard,
Yep.
and you see each other.
Right.
Hi. But you don't just go into your neighbor's backyard,
Right.
because there's, a fence there.
There's a fence there.
Yes,
yeah.
that's what a boundary is. You see people, hello, hey, can we talk? No.
No.
That's a fence.
That's a fence. And I always feel like when I feel that fence, I just want to jump over it.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, what is this doing? Where's the gate?
Yeah? How do I get out of where
How do
I am?
get where you are so we could be together and have fun? Right?
Oh, really? Fun.
But
That's
it's
good.
hard for me to recognize that as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is, like you said, just a difference in the way people do that. And you can, the more observant you become about your behavior and other people's behaviors, you can start to go, oh, you wanted that there. You wanted that.
Or you need that there.
Or you need that there. That's a very good point.
Because perhaps someone doesn't understand. Perhaps someone's going undiagnosed, or something's going undiscussed.
Or they just don't want to be that close to you, and that's okay.
That's true. Yes, perhaps that's the experience because of their emotions. It keeps them. I don't know about secure or safe or in some sort of comfort zone.
Yeah.
But it keeps them on the path that they're supposed to be on because of one situation or another, and I definitely honor that. Again, I'll be like, thank you so much for telling me to go away. That can be really hard.
It can be.
Yes. And so I go away.
And so you're like, okay, so you respect that. You're like,
Yes.
I get it. That's your boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll see the person in their backyard again. Hi. Is
Can I
it
come
still?
over?
Yeah. Is there no gate? Did you not put that in yet? You don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I can.
I love that. I'm going to be thinking that every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Is the gate there yet?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or not. No.
Or not.
Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, I'll go.
I'll
away
still
then.
be here
I'll
until
still
I'm
be
not.
here.
So that's how I treat it.
Oh, that's incredible. I could literally talk to you the entire day. You're
Oh.
just so interesting to talk to.
Oh
It's
yes,
just
I
so
am.
Much
I am
fun.
so very interesting. I'm unlike any sort of person. I'm the
No.
closest approximation to a human being that you're ever likely to meet. That's what I tell people because I've had to work at it.
Yeah,
Isn't that pretty funny?
It's really funny.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm
and
the
so
closest approximation to a
human being.
Yeah,
that
that's
you're
hilarious.
Ever likely to meet. Yeah. But I'm being literal, and people. That's where humor kind of comes in. People say, "You're so funny," and it's like.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. So,
great.
Am I supposed to keep being funny?
You just might have to give them a moment to, laugh uncontrollably, and then we can resume conversation.
I do that. Yeah,
That's
they'll
good.
weep, in their belly. Oh, this
Yes.
is. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, like I just got an ab workout. Thank you.
Yeah, and so okay, yes, you're welcome.
Well, I so look forward to the documentary. So October 11th, did I remember that
10th.
correctly? The 10th.
Yep, the
Thank
10th.
you.
Yep.
If I could just have a little bit of that memory of yours, that would
Oh,
be
be careful.
amazing.
Well, yes,
Be
I
careful
hear what you're
wish
saying.
for.
Yeah, because you just may get it.
You just
to
may.
have everything and not, just forget it, but then
Yeah.
to feel a certain way. Because I
Yeah.
must say, I am blessed that I don't know how to feel about all this information.
Right,
So
that would
all the
be-
harm that's been done to me, it's just ones and zeros.
Wow.
So I don't know how to be traumatized. And that's
Wow.
conversations I have in this documentary with people like, oh, you do know. Please talk about it.
Please talk
And they
about
talk about trauma. They talk about difficulty
Wow.
or difficulties.
So interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I do just appreciate your openness and your authenticity, just regarding how your brain functions and how to help. I think the more we know about each other, we can't help but be friends and interact better and be a
Absolutely.
bit stronger community.
Yes.
Yeah.
And flourish.
And
right?
flourish, exactly. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. We have John David Berdahl, making a difference through media and education, and I look forward to that documentary October 10th.
Yep,
And
at the
I
Fargo
am
Theater.
yes, at the Fargo Theater, and I am Jesse Ammett, your host of Valley News Now.